some of our staff members with their CDA certification.
Motion by Mr. Coche, second by Mr. Coche. Any discussion? Vote. Vote passed. Item 2B, consider and or recommend action with regard to not enforcing a penalty for Louisiana Sugar Cane Cooperative Incorporated. Mr. Fuson.
This is the same issue. I don't know if y'all remember it a couple of months back. When they changed the way that the ITEP was done. It used to be approved at the state, and then they started giving all the local jurisdictions the ability to weigh in on whether or not they wanted to grant the exemption. And they did one of the very first ones, and whenever they wrote it, it was for a 3-year period. And they wrote in the total jobs and payroll that they were gonna do over that 3-year period. So every year it appears that they're out of compliance because it's taking it 1 year at a time and they didn't meet that total. So a couple of months ago, we approved a change to the way that it was written. But this one is still, it's 2023 going forward. So there really was not that they didn't meet what they were supposed to meet. It's just, it was an administrative error in the way that the application was written. So I'm saying that we should not enforce a penalty on them because it really is not non-compliance. It's just the way that the application was written.
So chances are they'll be in compliance from this.
They will be in compliance going forward.
I'll make a motion. Motion by Mr. Coche, second by Mr. Coche. Let's vote. Motion passed. Item 2C, consider and or recommend action with regard to creating a full-time council position. Ms. Michelle.
It was tabled at the last meeting, so that's why it's back on the agenda again. I did go back as it was requested and checked, and we are in compliance with Bulletin 1706, and looking at our numbers of special ed pupil appraisal staff. I checked with other personnel around the district area, and the salary is in line with what everyone else paid. I even went back and looked at our own salary schedule and talking with Miss Adrienne Hubal, who also has tasks to have salaries for licensed professional counselors. They are done at the specialists because of their education. So even if I looked at the 1-year experience, which our counselors do have, our current special ed counselors do have, and they would work longer than a teacher salary, which is listed here. So if I looked at 182 days, which is the teacher scale, and then I would need them to work the extended school year program. And it'd be unfair to say they would work 12 months because the extended school year program is only half a day, 4 days a week. So it's unfair to pay them for, in my opinion, for 12 months. So I have looked at it further. If I take 182 days, then 28 half days, which is what we have for the extended school year program, and that would equate to 196 full days. Multiply that by the daily, which is $261.29 per day. If you look at the rate divided by 182, that would be $51,213. So it would be just a little bit reduced from the 55,000, but it would be in line with our teacher salary schedule and the number of days that they would work.
The problem I have with it, I personally think it should be a 9-month, because right now, from what it seemed like, you were proposing a 12-month employee first.
At first, yes, sir, but then I thought about the extended school year program.
And really and truly, I think we could go with the 9-month employee, because after speaking, I did make some phone calls, And it sounds like, and Mr. Poche is the one that brought it to my attention last meeting pertaining to Medicare.
Mhm.
And if you word positions correctly, and I hope I'm not out of line, Ms. Broussard, if we word positions correctly, it looks like it could be a wash if we go with the 9-month employee. Because if we'd gone with what we had said, if we'd have just voted it on last time, we were looking at increasing our budget by $75,000. And y'all kept on saying, but more. And that's all I was trying to do was give you, and again, at that particular moment, I was dealing with an autistic, trying to help out an autistic parent, somebody who's a parent of an autistic child. So I'm not against it. It's just a matter of how we fund it and everything. And I really believe that the 9 months would be sufficient amount of time and not the 192 days that you're asking for.
Well,
So how many days? You said 12 months?
well,
We,
no, I'm asking us to reconsider the 12 months for the 182 days, which is a 9-month. But they also need to work the extended school year program. If we don't include them under this, then we're gonna have to pay them on a timesheet at the $45 an hour rate.
it's a necessity. That's for the children.
So I was just trying to make it so that it was an equitable exchange.
And we need counseling because of the COVID. The children are in the back. We spending money for everything else. We're supposed to be spending money for the children. And she's asking for counseling. For how many months?
Well, it would be 9 months plus the
Plus the
extended
3.
school year program. The
So,
extended school year program runs 7 weeks, 4 half-days a week.
so you
So it's
check
28
with,
Like I said, we don't even have school, we don't even have anything going on Fridays during the summertime.
That's what I said, 4 days,
You said
4
4
half-days, 4 half-days,
Oh,
Four and a half
Yes,
days.
sir.
4 half, yeah.
4
Yeah.
half-days.
It's a necessity.
And we did see some benefit.
We need counseling. And I'm for it. That's for the children.
Okay, can I get a motion on the floor?
Well, can we talk
Motion
about
by Ms.
funding
Vital.
sources?
I'd just like to know how we can fund it.
Let's get a motion.
Could,
I'll
and
make a motion
will
for
we
9
speak
months.
to the,
Ms.
what
Van
Mr.
Charles made a motion.
Right, like switching
And the extended.
And then Karen Tom, okay.
the funding source,
Second by
and
Ms.
one,
Pope.
Okay, she's basically touching base on how we can fund this.
and that's switching the funding source of some of the counselors that are currently being paid by IDA and paying them through general fund, paying other employees through IDA, and then using those employees to be able to bill through Medicaid to recoup some of the.
right, we ran that reimbursement would be based on the 2 people that are able to be on a sheet for Medicaid, the reimbursement would be approximately $37,809. That's the reimbursement. Now, also know that 10% of that has to go back to the billing vendor.
And I have,
That's what the contract is.
so my other question would be about the ESYS. How is that program funded currently? Like,
Yes, sir.
The
but
last
beyond ESSER, how does that get funded?
IDA.
So why couldn't this person be a 182-day employee and get paid on a timesheet like everybody else that works that program? And funded through that funding source instead of funded,
I'm fine with that. I'm just saying that, but what
because we don't
happens?
have anybody else. Everybody else that works beyond 182 days, it is laid out that they work 1 week after, 2 weeks after, 1 week before. This would be a different situation. In every situation like this, they get paid on a timesheet for any time worked outside their 182 days.
If that's what the agreeable, we're fine as long as, again, IDA funds, we have them right now. But every year they seem to get cut more and more.
Ms. Broussard, do we have the money to fund this, or do you need more time to figure it out?
No, if we switch the funding source of the employees and get the offset from the cost report and do this as a 182-day employee and let the summer program pick up the summer pay, then I would be okay with it. The difference is not that great.
I have one question. Is this for 1 year or is this forever?
This is would be a permanent position.
All right, goes.
Well, here we go. Federal government funds it, then all of a sudden the money goes away
And we stuck with it.
and we stuck with it. That's where I have a problem.
Well, I mean,
I don't
we're,
mind funding it this year,
we're required by federal law. If a
It's
student needs
required.
the
but if it's
services,
required by federal law, federal government ought to be paid.
well, and
That's not
that is
the
the
way it
problem with IGA, Mr. Peasley.
We get
You're
money.
exactly right.
We
It
get
is
money
not
from
fully
the government.
mandated.
That's right, explain it to you.
It's not fully funded, and that is a problem. And it has been a problem since 1975 when it was enacted.
It's for
And I
the
totally agree,
children.
but
It's not for the.
Any
can't
more
make
questions?
the federal government do it.
Yes, sir.
According to my calculation, it's only gonna cost the board approximately, $38,000, after Medicare. So we're not fully funded. the
Is it gonna be that much, Casey? I
No,
don't think
because
so,
if she takes the summer funding off, that brings the salary back down to around, and then we
47,555.
get the 38,000. So we'll be paying about 5,000 plus some of the benefits.
Well, okay,
Yeah.
so we're gonna be actually paying less than I see.
I'd like to make a substitute motion to follow the guidelines of, Ms.
I
Broussard as far
second.
as the payment.
What you said, Mom?
And she has
Well, I have a
on
motion on the floor to accept the
No,
part,
the floor. I said a
9
substitute motion.
and pick up the,
Again?
You have to vote
So,
on
Mama?
the motion.
9 months.
Again?
182 days.
Okay,
Yes.
if it's the 9 month, then yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's what makes it out.
Okay,
And the extended, because she.
Yes, and it's, some.
Right.
but the extended
But
summer
that-
program is gonna be funded different
The same way that it's funded for everybody else.
by everybody else.
Okay. Yeah, okay, let's vote.
Okay.
For the children.
Thank y'all very much.
Okay, motion passed. Item 2D, general fund monthly budget to actual comparison. Ms. Broussard?
This is a requirement of the Louisiana Legislative Auditor's Office that this be presented every month at the board meeting.
Is it
So I'll be
something
hand, yes, no action has to be taken. It's simply for y'all to review. It just has to be mentioned in the agenda and in the minutes of every month. So I'll be passing it out at every meeting because I can't prepare it until after the month ends. So it'll be a standing item, everyone, on the agenda. And it's just our current budget base and then our actuals as to where we are through September 30th of this year.
Okay. Thank you. Item 2E, approval of the following Head Start Policy Council agenda items from September 25th, 2023. Ms. Sonjab?
So we had a special policy council meeting to review the SHINE contract. SHINE is an early learning service that will provide 3 different data-driven areas for us to be in alignment with the continuous monitoring. And so the annual cost is $32,000. It would be broken into 2 different sections. First section would come from this base funding, and second would come from when we receive our new funding in November. And policy council approves for us to move forward with this contract service.
We have a motion by Mr. Coche,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Coche. Any discussion? Okay, let's vote. Motion passed. Motion to adjourn. Let's adjourn. Second by Mr. Motion by Mr. Coche, second by Mr. Pettit.
Ready already, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Right, but you're gonna have to take it.
Please lead us in a prayer and pledge.
Dear Lord, guide us tonight as we make decisions that will affect our students and staff. Let us work together for the betterment of our system and all involved in it. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, want to do the announcements and activities?
Announcements. I'd like to announce this past summer, Dr. Shirley Tibbetts was recently named the president-elect of the Louisiana School Supervisors Association. And I believe 2 weeks ago there was their annual meeting which was held in Lake Charles, and at that time she was inducted as the president for the upcoming school year. That's the only announcements that we have at this time.
That's it?
That's it.
Southern Script?
Southern Scripts Employee of the Month. The Southern Scripts Employee of the Month was the St. Martin Food Services Managers, Techs, and Warehouse Staff. And I'll kind of tell you a little bit about the nomination because it was Dr. Phillips who nominated these ladies and gentlemen. She said our food service team members have demonstrated teamwork at its highest level. They have gone above and beyond to ensure that all schools are provided with hot and nutritious meals during food chain supply constraints. School managers assisted in creating new menu items using our USDA commodity items and helped anytime they were called upon for assistance without hesitation. Also, our area managers consistently work hard to ensure that the processes and systems work accurately while meeting daily demands of accountability. Lastly, 2 of our St. Martin area cafeteria manager and warehouse staff have helped to ensure that schools and Head Start centers have hot meals and items to function successfully. What a wonderful dedication to our members during National School Lunch Month. So congratulations to all of you. Somebody don't have to dig in the middle.
You can give it to
Okay, everybody lit? I do. Yes, got it. Thank you. All right.
All right, do we have any presentations by?
I want to say my hat goes off to the technicians, food technicians and the manager who make sure that our kids are well fed during the school period. And certainly, it's always a pleasure to have you come back to our board meeting. I know that you do an excellent job in the cafeteria. Y'all keep our kids fed and appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, do we have any presentations by candidates for office?
Mr. P.
He just walked out. All right. Next, first, I'd like to take care of a little business. This is about the public participation in school board meetings. As for board policy, each person wishing to address the board shall be requested to fill out a speaker's form prior to the meeting, indicating which agenda item he or she would like to speak. The speaker forms are available from the executive secretary seated at the desk to the left. Ms. Wendy's desk right there. The person shall be afforded the floor not to exceed 5 minutes after the introduction of the agenda item to be voted on and before any discussion by the board. When an individual has been recognized to speak on the agenda item, the individual shall be limited his or her comments to matters that are strictly relevant to that item. The President reserves the right to stop any comments when deemed necessary. No dialogue between board members and public shall be permitted at board meetings except to clarify the nature of questions and or comments. All right. Next item on the agenda is any, you wanted, the council candidate for office?
You want to talk?
Yes, I didn't know I was on the agenda.
No,
Thank you, council, board members. Thank you, people in the audience. Wasn't expected to speak or do anything this afternoon. For the past 5 years, I've been here as an employee. Seen a lot come, seen a lot go. I've grown a lot in this, and I want to thank the board for first giving me the opportunity to work here and to giving me the opportunity to work with you, and for the people in here from the St. Martin Parish School Board, giving me the opportunity to work with you. I think I've grown a lot. I think I've learned a lot, not only with the job that I was doing in maintenance and with the bond construction, but also with people. You know, the interaction with people, ability to listen to people, to communicate with people, because I really believe that if you have the ability to do the job, you know, the God-given ability and the experience that He's given me, the last cog that's needed is your ability to deal with the people that you are in connection with to make the wheel turn. You know, you have a bunch of different areas of the school board. You know, the education part of it, of course, I'm not in that part of it, and my hat's off to you educators. Because at this point in time, right now, this is a very difficult time. You know, my hat's off to y'all for what y'all do and what y'all bring to the table and what y'all are able to achieve. You know, the flip side of this, we just gave a big round of applause to the individuals that feed our children. You know, that is overlooked so often right now, is that, you know, they deserve more than what they get. You know, I think another area is the area of maintenance. You know, with the men that I work with, they don't work for me, I work with them to be able to keep these lights on, to keep the HVAC working, to keep the plumbing running. You know, it's often overlooked until something goes wrong. And then where are they? And we need you now. No, we need you yesterday. You know, it's a very trying and difficult situation to put yourself in. And not only to put yourself in, but it's day in and day out. You know, and I thank you for allowing me to work with you over the past 5 years. You know, I really believe that I've given some prayerful time to this and given some confirmation to where I think I need to move on to another level. And at this point in time, I'm running for the position of parish president. And I would ask that you give me your support, you give me your prayers. I thank you for what you've allowed me to do over the last 5 years, board and the people here. Thank you all.
Any other candidates?
I wasn't planning on speaking today, but might as well go for it. My name is Sai Sabra. I'm running for clerk of court in St. Martin Parish. I've been in the legal field for 20 years and a licensed attorney for going to be 12 in October. The reason I'm here tonight is because I'm a proud 2001 graduate of Calhoun Elementary. A graduate of Seminary Christian with a 4.0 GPA. A graduate of the University of Louisiana, magna cum laude. A graduate of Southern University Law Center, where I graduated 15th out of 125. Education has been the backbone of my life. It's what I've come to enjoy. It's what I love. And I pray that this school board, when making their decision, considers education first and foremost as a priority of their function. So, like I said, I'm running for clerk of court. I've been a public servant, a licensed attorney. My entire career, even though I am an attorney, has been working with public service. First, public defender's office. I clerked for the Honorable Paul DeMaie here in St. Martin Parish. I've represented kids in the foster care system, which is something that takes a huge toll on your heart when you're sitting across kids who have been abused and neglected and aren't providing the services they're needed. And then I was fortunate the last 8.5 years to be a judicial law clerk for 2 judges in the parishes of Lafayette, St. Martin, Lafayette, Vermilion, and Acadia. Working with those two judges gives me a wide range of experience on how those parishes handle their matters. So I've been a lifelong resident of Coat Homes and hoping to bring my experience back to St. Mark Parish where I reside my entire life. So I appreciate your consideration and your vote on October 14th for number 84. Thank you.
Okay, any other candidates? That's it? All right. Next item on the agenda, additions or deletions of agenda item. Any additions or deletions? None? Okay. Remove items from the consent agenda to discuss out. Any remove? None? So at this time, I consider,
Motion.
motion to accept the consent agenda items. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Durio. Okay, let's vote. All right, motion passes. Okay, number 3, there are no items pulled from the consent agenda. Item 4, finance committee recommendations.
Move to accept finance committee. Minutes.
A motion and a second by Mr. Poche. All right, let's vote on that. Motion passes. All right, new business. Consider approved Head Start Policy Council recommendations for enrollment records, new hire recommendations, mental behavior health consultant, MOU Louisiana Lions Club, MOU St. Mark Parish Library, MOU Bridge Housing Authority. Ms. Angel?
So these are policy council agenda items with us and MOUs, new hire recommendations. Which are normal kind of things that we go into. The Lions Club is to help us with our vision screening. St. Mark Parish Library provides reading services to the students. Bridge Housing Authority will share information for anybody that would be housing needs. And then the policy council also agreed to move forward with Winter's mental health consultant instead of the family tree.
All right. Do I have a motion? Motion by Mr. Clay, second by Mr. Dodger. Any discussion? All right, let's vote. Motion passes. Item 5B, consider an approval proposal for cell tower at the Early Learning Center. Mr. Wilson?
Yes, based on the recommendation of Mr. Boyd, doesn't see anything or any issues with the contract. It seems to be a standard contract, so the only thing of concern is that was that the school board will be without the ability to terminate the lease during the term. So during the term that we're leasing it for, we won't be able to terminate it. We have to wait until a specific time to terminate.
Which is,
Well, the first lease is 5 years, and then from that point, it would renew to an additional 17 years. The only concern was if there were plans for moving forward, if we were going to use that piece of property for something later on down the line, but if there's no issue or no.
after the 5 years.
Yeah, after the 5 years. At 5 years, we could terminate if we choose to do that.
All right, do I have a motion on that?
Yeah.
Motion by Mr. Clay, do I have a second? Mr. Dodger. Any discussion?
Yeah, I'm just trying to find out how much we get. Very good.
Yeah.
So it's, so when they exercise the option, it's $2,000. When they act on the option, it's $1,000, and then it's $1,000 every month thereafter. So you're gonna get initially $3,000, and I'm sorry, and then $1,000 a year, every year after that.
Just $2,000 a year.
$1,000 a year, but you can initially get $3,000 just to exercise the option. So I
No, I'm
mean,
talking about the first 5 years.
it's $1,000 a year.
All right, any other discussion? All right, let's
Well,
vote.
I'm sorry. It's $1,000 a month. Yeah, $1,000 a month, every month.
Every month.
But $3,000 for the option.
We didn't ask for enough.
Yeah.
We didn't ask for enough, apparently. I think it's 600 a month over there. But I would. It's $600 a month in seceded.
Okay, any other discussion? All right, let's vote. Okay, I pass. All right, board member requests. Item A, consider and approve allowing all students in San Juan Parish schools to wear shorts. Mr. Clinton?
Yes, I'm still getting a few phone calls about, students wearing short pants through, junior high and high school. We asked the board last meeting, the staff to make recommendations on guidelines to the wearing rubber shorts, which is 4 inches above the knee, and the student is kneeling. So I would thank the staff for doing that and make a motion to accept it.
We have a motion by Mr. Clay to accept. Do we have a second? Second by Mr. Fugely. Any discussion? All right.
Excuse me.
Yes, ma'am.
So we have to have consequences and rules.
We do. Yes, ma'am.
You do for sure. We just started. Y'all have it?
It would be the normal dress code rule. Shorts will just be part of the dress code. The length, we went with the length of 4 inches because Iberia has 5, Lafayette has 4 inches above the knee when they're kneeling. Very few school systems do the 2 inches anymore, which I think the reason becoming a lot of the shorts aren't sold at 2 inches. So your issues would go if a child would wear the short shorter than the required limit, then you have your normal dress code violations and you get the consequences of normal dress code, such as the wrong pants, kids who wear the jackets with no shirts under. So you still have those dress code violations. So it just falls under dress code.
Okay, so y'all send it out to the parents?
Well, I mean, it hasn't been sent yet because they asked us to come up with a policy.
Okay. Y'all have the policy?
Well, I mean, it was in our package.
And if it passes, when does it take?
Yeah,
That's another question that's not to be discussed, is when would it go into effect?
Staff to be able to implement this.
Well, I have a question on that. Last board meeting, we heard some comment from all this. I had parents in my district, it probably want some say no. But the administration from the 3 principals in our school said that I want to give them extra work. So I don't think that's a good idea. And if you visit the 3 schools, I visit. I gotta wear a jacket to get in that school. How the hell do you want to wear shorts?
Any other discussion?
So
We did, when with Joe, what was staff was
I mean, I'd have to survey staff just to kind of give them an idea. There's a lot going on now. We're doing football, we just had homecoming, so I don't want to just drop this on them and say, hey, you need to have this in a week.
So, I winter time is coming. The next one.
Personally, I'm moving against it, just that I'm being upfront because I see it giving more work to our staff. And another thing, I'm coming back from work, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Have the kids are walking around of school with jackets and hoodies. I mean, and if it was, don't get me wrong, if we didn't have air conditioners in the schools, things like that, and I know the kids ride the bus, but I'm a big proponent of starting school late. And if you've been to any board meetings, y'all know how I push that real hard. Either start the week before Labor Day or the week of Labor Day. And that would solve a lot of the heat problems. Now, this year was unbelievable. I mean, it was out of the ordinary. But other than that, I mean, these
maybe
kids are gonna
next
survive.
year, we could start.
But again, I have to go back.
I'll go for it
Yeah.
because I know those children wear hoodie. Anyway, they have shorts, they still wear hoodie, whether it's in the summertime or at school.
Oh, I agree. I see them on the streets.
Yeah.
But
So,
I'm gonna go
and
back.
all our neighbor parishes, they are wearing shorts. My little granddaughter goes to school in my area, and she's in junior high. And they have a length of where these shorts supposed to be, and it's appropriate. I see it. So we need to look at it, maybe not this year, maybe when school start again. We should let them wear shorts.
Well, once again, those little girls are gonna roll up there.
No.
They're gonna roll them up and then when it
No,
comes
no,
time.
they don't do that.
But listen.
We in the 21st century.
You gonna tell me they don't do that? My granddaughter does.
They maybe do that after they leave school, but when they're
I can feel that it was deleted.
Anyway, all right, we have a motion on the floor in a second. Any more discussion? Let's vote. Oh,
I just need some clarity on when this is gonna go into effect.
what?
Effective
When it's
date.
gonna do next year,
Next year?
yeah, next year,
It's going to affect next year?
yeah,
All right. So let's vote.
if it passes. So what do we do? Okay. Next year.
Motion passes. All right, next item on the agenda is consider and approve removal of District 5 board member as board president by these policies.
Mr.
Okay.
At this
Well,
moment,
excuse me.
at this moment, I ask that the gavel be given to the vice president.
I just want to let the board know that this item and the next item, well, the next item certainly are appropriate for executive session if you guys would like to do an executive session. That's up to this board.
It was done in the public, it's gonna be honored in the public.
I mean,
First of all, if there was a apology from the board president, it would have been a.
I'm not telling you, I'm not arguing, I'm just saying that the board has the right, it's appropriate to do it. The board has the right to do it. Yeah.
I make a motion, we bring this into the executive session.
Exactly.
We got a motion by Mr. Clayton, moving to executive session. We have a second by Ms. Vital. Vote. To go into executive session. Was that Ms. Johnson?
Ms. Johnson.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Johnson. I'm looking at her. I'm sorry. Yeah, we have a motion by Mr. Clayton.
It's up to the parties.
Well, we're gonna vote for it. They have a motion on the floor to go into executive session with this item, and we have a second. And I'm calling for the vote.
So, Mark,
Yes, ma'am.
we talking about the one.
We're gonna talk about the next two items.
DNC?
B and C, yes, ma'am. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm gonna follow the guidance of, council. So,
I believe the council is right. I get my council on that. You should have called me and discussed it with me. I should have got my council to tell you you're wrong.
Mr. Butchie, council's welcome to call me. I'm telling
Well,
you.
you didn't tell me you was gonna, address it to the executive session.
No, nor did you ask. I'm just saying that the board has this right. They don't have to do it. They have the right to do it. They don't have to. It's the board's decision.
okay, we have, there's a couple that didn't vote, but it really wouldn't matter because we have 6 votes to go to executive session to discuss that. We can, that's it.
So we have, item D. D.
We're going to executive session.
No, D is appropriate.
D is appropriate. You want to discuss D right now?
We're going to go to executive session.
The D?
Also depends what happened on item, B and C.
Okay.
It might be removed.
But the vote's gotta come out here. The vote on that needs to be in public. You can only have discussions in executive session.
Okay. So we have a motion to go into executive session. It's 7-2.
Motion.
Let's go into executive session.
Can we go to Johnny's
There will be no action considering items 6B, C, and D. So now I'm gonna pass the gavel back over to Mr. Oki.
And I entertain a motion to go into executive session. Motion by Mr. Clay, second by Mr. Johnson. All in favor? Executive session. All right, do I have a motion to come out of executive session? Motion by Mr. Coche, second by Mr. Warren. All right, first item on the agenda is to vote on the appeals expulsion. Do I have a motion on that?
I'll make the motion that, kids return back to school.
Do I have a second?
I say,
Do I have a second by Ms. Vital? October 12th?
yeah, you gotta finish, until October 12th, that's when they give it the first time.
All right, until October 12th. All right, we have a motion and a second. Please vote. Motion passed. All right, next item, Mr. Blanchard.
Yes, Mr. Voti. We're asking the board to make a motion to authorize the superintendent and legal counsel to solicit public feedback to change the names of the Early Learning Center and St. Martinville Primary to reflect the new magnet schools that will be coming online for the 2025-2026 school year.
All right, do I have a motion? Motion by Mr. Clay, second by Mr. Louis Rose. All in favor, please go ahead and vote.
Change the name of the magnet school.
To solicit public feedback.
All right, motion passes. Your next item?
Thank you, Mr. President. We also ask the board to make a motion to authorize the superintendent and legal counsel to enter into the revised consent order regarding student assignment negotiated with the private plaintiffs in the United States in the board's pending desegregation case, which modifies attendance zones in the Parks, St. Martinville, and Brobridge zones as reflected in the elementary, middle/junior high, and high school zone maps that shall be attached to these minutes. And we recommend that they be attached to the minutes so that everyone will be aware of exactly what maps the board is voting on.
Do I have a motion on that? Motion by Mr. Clay.
Second.
And before the vote's taken, Mr. President, can I, Ms. Wendy, can we just display for the benefit of the public the maps? Can we start with the high school map first? Because that's the new map. And if you can scroll down all the way to the bottom. So what's reflected in here on the bottom of the map is what's called an inset. And this is just a zoomed in highlighted portion of the map to show what the change is. This area that's being highlighted is the Honorable Judge Foote recommended that the board align the zone changes that were previously negotiated so that students who are that start pre-K together can go all the way through 12th grade together. This would eliminate a small split in the zone between Brobridge and St. Martinville High School. Part of the terms of the negotiated deal is that any student who is currently a junior or senior high school student at Brobridge High School will have the option to stay at Brobridge High School so they can graduate at the school. Right now, there are 22 students in this highlighted zone that would be impacted by the change. There are a total of 7 students in grades 11th and 12th grade that can opt into the grandfathering provision. And for 9th and 10th grade students, there are 15 students. But this high school change is the only new zone change that the board hasn't previously approved in prior meetings. That's why it's called a revised consent order. And Ms. Wendy, just for the benefit of the public, can we also just show the elementary school map, please? And if you can scroll to the bottom as well on that to the inset, I think it'll be easier just to explain the inset. So these are the same elementary school maps that were approved by the board to negotiate in its May meeting and that we submitted to the court over the summer. The only difference in this map is that at the court's suggestion, we have modified the inset, the highlighted portion of this, to make more clear that these areas are going to be affected. We thought it would benefit the public to have it, highlighted which zones are being changed, but there is no difference from the board's prior approval to this map. We just modified the inset. And Ms. Wendy, would you please show the middle school map as well? So on the middle school, again, it's the same. These changes are identical to the junior high changes. It's the exact same area. We did the same thing with these maps. We just changed the inset. Nothing else changed. And if there are no questions from the board members, we would just ask for the board's approval to enter into and submit the consent order to the court.
We have a motion and a second. Let's go ahead and vote. Motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. President.
The motion to adjourn. Mr. Mark. Second by Mr. Poche. Any other?